You'll earn over $1 million in your life, so why do most people retire broke? Because your money isn't disappearing by accident, it's being quietly drained by habits you don't even notice.
All right, let's just get right into it because there's this huge paradox at the heart of our finances that we have to talk about. Most people, you included, will probably earn over $1 million in their lifetime. So how is it that the vast majority of us will end up retiring with basically nothing? Look, this isn't about bad luck. It's about a series of, well, silent habits that are quietly keeping you poor. And today, we're going to drag every single one of them out into the light. First things first, let's just establish the potential here. The average American over their career earns about $1.7 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is more than enough money to build a comfortable, even a wealthy, retirement. The capital is there. The money is flowing through your hands. But here's the brutal reality. For the people who actually have anything saved for retirement, the median amount is just $87,000. And honestly, that's the best case scenario. You want to know the really scary part? Nearly half of all families have zero, zilch, nothing saved at all. So that brings us to the big million-dollar question, right? What in the world happened to the other $1.6 million? Where does it all go? Well, it vanishes. It disappears into a series of financial traps. Traps that feel totally normal, but are actually designed to keep you broke. So let's start by looking at the specific habits, okay? These are the silent spending traps that are draining your wealth without you probably even noticing. The number one most fundamental bad habit is paying yourself last. You know the drill. You get your paycheck, you pay the rent, the car payment, all those subscriptions, you buy groceries, you go out with friends. And then at the very end of the month, you kind of peek at your account and see what's left and maybe save that. But what's the problem with that? Spending always, and I mean always, expands to fill the money you give it. There's almost never anything left. Now, look at this slide very closely. The solution is just a simple little flip in your priorities. Wealthy people, they get paid, and boom, the first thing they do is move at least 10% to savings and investments. They treat saving like a bill. In fact, it's the most important bill they have. And only then do they live off the rest. It's a non-negotiable first step. You pay yourself first, period. Oh boy, next up is a trap that keeps millions of people running in place, getting absolutely nowhere fast. I'm talking about the credit card hamster wheel. So, the average balance is about $6,500. With interest rates hovering around 22%, that costs you over $1,400 a year just to keep the balance from getting bigger. Let me be crystal clear about this. Paying off high-interest debt is a guaranteed tax-free return on your money. No stock, no crypto, no real estate deal can promise you that. Wiping out your debt is the absolute best investment you can possibly make. And then we have the silent killer of wealth, lifestyle inflation. This is exactly why you see people earning six-figure salaries who are still somehow living paycheck to paycheck. Every single time they get a raise, their spending goes right up to meet it. A nicer car, a bigger apartment, more expensive vacations. Sound familiar? And this chart, well, it shows you exactly why that's such a dangerous trap. As your income goes up, your spending goes up right along with it. See that little gap between the two bars? That's where wealth is built. And for most people, it never gets any wider. You're just running faster and faster on a treadmill that's going nowhere. You see, these habits, they don't just exist in a vacuum. They're all enabled by a specific mindset, a way of thinking about money that basically guarantees you stay broke, no matter how much you earn. The foundational issue here is just a simple lack of awareness. I mean, think about it. You can't fix what you don't measure. It's just like trying to lose weight without knowing how many calories you're eating. It's pointless. You have to know your real numbers, not just what you think they are. And the single most important number you have to measure is your net worth. It is the ultimate temperature check of your financial health. It's way, way more important than your salary. Your net worth tells you the real score of the game. You absolutely have to track it. If you don't know this number, you are flying completely blind. Now, okay, this might sound a little harsh, but it is a critical mindset shift you have to make. Savers are losers doesn't mean people who save are bad people. Of course not. It means that people who only save their money in cash are guaranteed to lose. Your cash might feel safe, sure, but every single day, inflation is like a tiny thief chipping away at its value, making it buy less and less over time. Listen, I really need you to hear this because it's a hard truth most people never learn. You cannot save your way to wealth. It's impossible. Saving is just playing defense. It protects what you have, but it doesn't grow. Investing?
Now, that's playing offense. It's how you put your money to work so it actually outpaces inflation and builds your fortune for you. Okay, we've exposed the traps, we've talked about the mindset behind them, so now let's get to the good stuff, the solutions. This is your playbook to break this cycle for good. This right here is your immediate checklist. I want you to ask yourself these 3 simple questions right now. First, are you automatically paying yourself at least 10% of your income? Yes or no? Second, do you know your exact net worth today? Not a guess. And third, are you using the powerful tools the government literally gives you to grow your money tax-free, like a 401k or a Roth IRA? Your answers to these 3 questions will show you exactly where you need to start. Of all the mistakes, of all the traps we have talked about, none of them, and I mean none of them, is more costly than this one. Waiting to start never feels like a big deal in the moment. But trust me, the long-term cost is absolutely catastrophic. Just look at the numbers on this timeline. A 10-year delay. You're doing the exact same thing as the other person, just starting a bit later. And that little delay costs you over $729,000. Let that sink in. That isn't a small mistake. That is the difference between a comfortable retirement and a life of struggle. That is your retirement.
So, when it all boils down, it really comes down to a simple choice. You can follow the path that feels normal, the one everyone else is on, or you can make the decision to be different.
Because let's be very, very clear about what normal actually means. Normal in this country is paying yourself last. Normal is being a slave to credit card debt. Normal is getting a raise and immediately spending it. Normal is a path that leads directly to a broke retirement.
And that's really the final question, isn't it? After seeing the numbers and the traps and the incredible potential that you have, you just have to ask yourself, do you want to be normal? If the answer is no, then the time to make a different choice is right now, today.
So the real question isn't how much you earn, it's where it actually goes. Subscribe if you want to break the cycle and build real wealth.